Global warming, something you should be concerned about. But you know, it probably will be something else that'll spell the end of mankind on this planet. G'day, I'm Jeff Boys. I'm an audiobook producer, and I've just completed a great story by Stephen King, an Australian author from Perth in Western Australia. No, not the Stephen King you know, but the story's equally terrifying as some of the ones that the well-known Stephen King would produce. King refers continually to newspaper reports, backing up the development and spread over hundreds of years to trace how this catastrophe that would decimate mankind slowly developed, what were the causes and where it went. So tonight I'm going to take you on an in-depth study of the data. I want you to imagine that we find these articles, and I'm going to read them to you and cover them with you, to give this story a little more depth and help you enjoy it. At the end of that, I'm going to read you a little bit of the book, and then you can relax, go back to audible.com and get the book. So off we go. It's 2220. If we dig back through the annals of time and find this article by the CSIRO, released January 2019, titled Destain Wheat, A New Dawn for Mankind, the End of Hunger. This was a hybrid wheat produced by the CSIRO with excellent drought resistance, requiring very little water, moisture, and resistant to everything known to mankind. 10 years later, January the 26th, 2099, this article turned up from the Zimbabwe Herald. Zimbabwe embraces Destain wheat. President Omba Mbanti announced today that Zimbabwe has signed on as the 10th major agricultural country to embrace the new Destain wheat. Working closely with the CSIRO, Mr. Mbanti announced the occasion as the dawn of prosperity and self-reliance for the African nation. The agreement is the result of several years of close cooperation and evaluation with the Australian group. Prime Minister Wilfred D. Boyce described the spread of Destain wheat as a truly miraculous development. Zimbabwe joins Afghanistan, France, Great Britain, India, Somalia, Egypt, Russia, the DR Congo and Vietnam in approving the new genetically modified product. The USA, Germany and Brazil are expected to approve the use of Destain wheat within 6 months. Numerous trials have shown the wheat to be very compatible, with no adverse effects on other plants, personnel or the environment. In the same page of the newspaper, we see an article in the center there titled Protesters at USDA, Washington, D.C. Thousands of banner-bearing protesters today marched outside the USDA to bring attention to the dangers of genetically modified foods. Spokesperson Tol Jasso said today that safeguards are not sufficiently robust to prevent a potential disaster. What if the wheat creates a problem that does not emerge for generations? Then what can we do? We cannot put the genie back in the bottle. Our lives will be changed forever. Nature's a delicate balance created by our Creator. If not in 7 days, then over eons of slow development and change. It all fits and balances. We were never meant to just come along and mess with it. A spokesperson for the USDA assured the crowd that there are numerous safeguards in place to prevent any unknown development from such genetic modification. If there was a problem, we could simply solve it with further genetic creativity. With this wheat, we can make America great again. 44 years later, April the 19th, 2055. Again, the Zimbabwe Herald. Zimbabwe wheat crop decimated. Shows a map here of the danger, decimation. President Omba Mbanti again declared a state of emergency today as the total wheat crop of the revolutionary Destain wheat was stricken with a strange yellow blight or spot. Studies of the organism revealed that it has never before been seen in modern times. It is believed to be a mutant clone, which was created parallel to the cloning of the Destain wheat variety by the Nobel Prize-winning CSIRO scientist Bradley Destain. Destain was later killed in a terrible car accident, taking from us one of the most brilliant minds of our time. The CSIRO, in conjunction with the USDA, has begun a major research project to develop a chemical or bioengineered entity to attack the yellow blight agriculture. Moving forward, we find this article from the Nebraska Farm News. Corn returns to Nebraska. Nebraska celebrates record wheat production following USDA acceptance of disdained wheat. Since it was approved in 2032, almost 80 years ago, Nebraska wheat farmers have seen a continuous growth in production and efficiency. The state has seen a huge increase in the export of wheat until about 10 years ago, when most countries in the world had shifted to disdain wheat for their flour and grain needs. Nebraska is now redeveloping the corn industry, as wheat has become a world commodity. And then we notice that over on the right-hand side, there's a column, small article, Yellow Spot on Corn. Nebraska farmer Carl Ontario discovered a strange yellow spot on some heads of corn. The corn has been sent to the USDA for analysis. It resulted in the entire field rapidly breaking down and the corn rotting. Government officials called it a local anomaly and stressed there is no need for concern. Corn in adjacent fields appeared to be thriving. Nonetheless, farmers are becoming concerned. In April 2055, Zimbabwe had reported massive crop losses due to a yellow spot. The result was the total wheat production of Zimbabwe was destroyed in a single season. Powerful fungicides were developed by Monsanto, and the yellow blight appears to be controlled. At this point, it had never been seen in any crop except wheat. The outbreak of a cornfield was therefore of great concern to farmers. Was the fungus crossing over to attack other plant life? 27 years later, November the 5th, 2139. Pandas International. Panda Research and Resettlement Station. Director warns of disaster. Many Li Min announced today the death of thousands of hectares of bamboo was threatening the future of the panda breeding at the research station. A strange yellow dust of some sort of biological bacteria is ravaging the bamboo forests. Scientists are continuing to work on some sort of bactericide to kill or prevent its spread. Once the bamboo has died, the bacteria leaves the soil sterile, and scientists have been unable to grow anything in the soil. The United Nations has declared Chengdu a biological disaster area. So far, 22 pandas have succumbed to some sort of food poisoning due to the poor nourishment provided by the depleted bamboo. Yesterday, 100 pandas were being shipped to zoos throughout the world in the hope that somewhere on the planet, bamboo will be able to flourish. 49 years later, November the 3rd, 2188. The Irish Examiner. County Cork potato farmers face ruin. O'Shaughnessy's finished. Bryony and Liam O'Shaughnessy and their 2 children pictured below are the latest victims of the rapidly progressing yellow blight, which is decimating Ireland's potato crop. I never thought we would see a repeat of history, but I really feel like we're back in the 1850s, said Liam. Irish government begins massive assistance program for farmers. Due to the catastrophic potato crop, the blight of Ireland's farmers, the government has embarked on a massive social support system to help farmers through the problems. Farmers have been advised to fill out the 324-page assistance request and get it filed promptly. 23 years later, December the 1st, 2211. United Nations declares yellow spot a disease of global significance. Epic Assembly. Today, for the first time in history, the General Assembly and the Security Council met in joint session to discuss the global issue of the yellow spot virus that has decimated the world's food supplies and is rapidly deforesting our planet. This collection of unearthed newspaper articles from the past shows exactly how this disaster began and proceeded. Now let's look at the book. How did mankind survive?